Hello, friends. How are you? I hope that you're all doing very well, and I wish you a very happy year 2023. This is a reading that I did when did I do this? On December the 30th, but the audio was not working properly. I did like four different videos, and I had to repeat all of them. So this is a repeat. That's why you have already all the cards here. For those of you who are new to my channel, well, this is a reading for the year 2023 for the United States, and I have here a spread with 12 different positions. Each position has a meaning, and I'm going to explain the meaning of each position and also the meaning of the cards as they relate to the position in which they show up. So let's start with the first position. This position indicates how other countries are going to see the United States from abroad, okay, from an outside perspective, from an outside view. And we have the Eight of Wands, okay? Wands are starts, are beginnings. This one, the Eight of Wands, is talking about movement. There are 8 wands that are moving fast. Someone has thrown them and they're coming fast. When you reverse it, which is the position in which this card appeared, reversed, instead of going forward, they're going backwards. Okay, so what does it mean? They see the United States as a country that instead of going forwards is going backwards, or is not moving. If we take a look at the news that people are hearing or listening to about the United States in other countries, it's things that one would expect from maybe religious, theocratic government. Okay, for example, we've had situations in the United States in which right now a teenager who has been raped has to leave her state to get an abortion. And I'm not talking about an abortion after 6 months or something like that. I'm talking about a 12-year-old that has been raped and she cannot go and have an abortion in her own state. Okay? And this is not because of real religious reasons. There is nowhere in the Bible where it says that conception is the moment when life occurs. Instead, we get things in the Bible like, I don't remember, you can search for it, but there's, for example, an account in the Bible. If the husband believes that the woman is pregnant with someone else's kid that is not his, so that she had an affair or something, the woman can be given a certain potion so that she has a miscarriage. So those things are in the Bible. Those are real things that are in the Bible. There's nowhere in the Bible where you will find that conception is the moment of life. Okay, that doesn't happen. So this is not really based on religion. It's not based on science, because science does not consider that conception is the moment of life, that life begins. Okay, so it's just based on the ideas of some people who think that they are illuminated and that they can tell others what to do with their lives. Of course, they will not have, if they had their daughters raped, I'm sure that they will go. Even if they have to go to another country, these people with power, they can go to any country and have the best doctors so that their daughters can have 100 abortions if they want. Okay, so so from other countries, this is their view. They see the United States as a country that is going backwards. Then instead of advancing, is going backwards. Okay. The next card has to do with money. The money that regular people is going to have during this year, 2023. And we have the Five of Wands. The 5 cards, the number 5 in minor arcana in this deck are not good cards. Okay. These cards indicate normally problems. This one, as you can see, there are people fighting. It indicates fights. So it's obstacles. People are going to have to work very hard, because once it's work, it's jobs, employment, they're going to have to work really hard to get enough money. And it's going to be troublesome. It's going to be hard. So people are going to find it hard to get enough money so that they feel confident that about spending their own money. Okay. So they're going to be saving, and because they're going to be saving because they don't feel that the economy is going very well, very good for them, then that's going to affect other parts of the economy of the country, as we will see. Okay, so it's not a great moment for for the average worker, okay, for the average citizen. The next card has to do with the media. And we have the 5 of Swords. Swords tell us about communication, about thoughts, about policies. And in this card, you can see that this guy is taking advantage of these other 2 guys. He has his swords. They've lost their swords and he got them for himself. He's laughing like, I stole your swords and you can't do anything. Media in the United States and in most countries or that I know of, normally they are multi-million-dollar companies or billion-dollar companies. They not only have media, they have other businesses. They are affiliated or in favor of certain governments or certain parties. So all of them have explicit agendas. And they're trying to promote a system, for the most part, in which the very rich or the system itself can take advantage of the regular citizens. Okay? They want people who are happy with having no benefits. They are okay with people that don't have universal healthcare. And they want people not to want universal healthcare because it would be bad. They don't want people to have good salaries because it would be bad. They don't want good people who have access to affordable education because it would be bad. For whom? Not for the regular people, but the problem is that regular people eventually believe that. They believe that everything that would help them and benefit them in moving forward in their life is bad. Okay, but that's what they want. That's the messages that we're being given. And people believe them. Okay, they believe that if you have universal healthcare, it's going to be bad for the country, which is not. Like every country on earth that has universal healthcare spends less money in medicine than the United States. And you can say, how can that be possible if the United States has no universal healthcare? Well, it is. It's what happens, okay? United States is the country with the most expensive health system, okay? And there is barely any services offered, okay? Unless you're retired or you go to the emergency room. But in any country, you can go to the emergency room. Even if you're in a third world country, in a developing country, you can go to the emergency room and they will help you, okay? In any country, even in the poorest countries. So why is it the case that in the United States you pay so much? Well, because the system is created in a way that the insurance companies and also the pharmaceutical companies, they get huge benefits from this, okay? You have basic medicines that are very cheap mostly anywhere on earth, but in the United States they're extremely expensive for no reason, because they're even generics, okay? So the media are favoring this system and people believe it. And that's going to continue this year. Then we have the High Priestess in the position for housing market. If you've watched my channel, and if you watch the news, you know that we are in a situation in the United States in which big companies, big corporations have been buying houses, thousands, hundreds, thousands of houses in different neighborhoods, and they have increased artificially the price of housing because they are purchasing a lot. It's not because regular people are purchasing a lot of houses. It's because big companies are investing their money in housing, okay, in the housing market. And they can afford to keep their houses, not sell them for years because they have billions of dollars, okay? And that's going to crush the market in this year, 2023, not like in 2008, not as much, but there's going to be huge instability in the housing market in this year, okay? Hopefully that will eventually lead us to more affordable housing for regular people, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is just telling me about huge instability because with the High Priestess, it has a white column and a black column, and it represents the moon in astrology. So it's talking about extreme changes because the moon accentuates everything, every emotion, the good ones and the bad ones. So it's talking about very huge ups and downs. Let's move on to the next card. This card is education. And again, nothing is going to move in this situation. We have the Eight of Swords upright. In the Eight of Swords, we have this woman who is tied up She cannot move to the right because she would cut herself, or to the left she would cut herself. She cannot see anything because she has also something covering her eyes. So this is a situation in which she could be released because the ties, the things that bind her, are not very, they're kind of loose. So she could untie herself, but she doesn't. So what happens is that even if the education situation could improve, there's not going to be a will to do that. There's going to be too much opposition, too many ideas opposed to advance and to achieve anything, okay? Even if the United States has an education system that we know that when you get out of high school, your knowledge of the world and of the United States is minimal, still there's no will to change it. The next card, we have the 7 of coins, of pentacles. And this position is for the employment category, okay? And the employment is going to get better. It's not an extremely positive card, but it's a good card. This guy has been working, and through his work, he has achieved success. This plant has grown a lot, and it's given a lot of fruits. This one is not. This one didn't grow, but I mean, it's still okay. So it means that there are going to be improvements in the employment market, but they're not going to be big enough for people to have more money. So maybe there are jobs to choose, but they're all going to offer salaries that are not good enough or benefits that are not good enough. Even if the salaries have increased a little bit, they have not increased as much to compensate the increase in prices that we've been experiencing for years, okay? The next card has to do with agreements with other countries. If you've checked my videos for a while, since we had Donald Trump, these cards are reversed. The cards that appear in this position are reversed. Countries are hesitant to do anything with the United States because they know that when government changes, all the agreements that they have, they can just be destroyed. So that does not speak very positive things about the United States, okay? This does not say good things about the United States and about the validity of their word. So if you have an agreement and then after 4 years, the government changes and it doesn't matter what they agreed, it's going to change. So they are not going to be reliable. They are going to hesitate before doing an agreement with the United States, okay? So this continues. This will continue this year, 2023. Plus, the United States is looking at the past, okay? It's looking backwards, and it's kind of focused on also bad relationships with certain countries, for example, with China, and that tendency is going to continue. The next card has to do with the stock market, the stock exchange, and even though many times, even if we have people suffering or struggling to earn a living, the big companies still succeed and they earn a lot of money. This year is going to be a little different because there is something's got to give, okay? And at a certain point, if people are struggling with their money, eventually they will not spend as much money. They will decide, okay, I have to save, I just don't have money to spend. So that's going to make all the companies that live off of our money suffer for that, okay? And that's going to happen in 2023. This is not a bad card. It's a good card, but because it's reversed, it's like there is no advancement. So at the end of the year, even if some months may be better, others may be worse, but at the end of the year, if they look back, they will see that either things didn't change, or they are a little bit worse than they were, or if they are a little better, they are not as good as they expected, okay? The next card has to do with immigration, and we have the 2 of Cups. I got 3 additional cards to clarify this one because this is agreements, but it's cups, so it's just emotions, so it's not really anything tangible. So I took 3 additional cards, which they are not here because I would have to put all the cards, all the deck in order and then find them, and I had to do that for 4 different readings. So I will explain a little bit what I got in the additional cards. So I got the King of Coins, of Pentacles reversed. I got the Tower reversed, and I got the Queen of Wands upright. So what it means is by the end of the year, there will be some agreement regarding immigration, because they had not been spending enough, using enough resources in things related to immigration. So they had this like on the side, not really caring about it. And something bad may happen with the Tower reverse. There may be something that makes them have to do something about immigration. And by the end of the year, which may be related to this now that I'm thinking about it, something bad may happen that makes them do something, like change something in the laws to help people that are immigrants. Eventually in the United States, if you're an illegal immigrant, so if you came to the United States and you don't have paperwork, you don't get anything. You cannot get help from the government because you don't have a social security number. You can only have a social security number if you are legally in the country. So I know that some people are saying that immigrants, that they get things for free. I don't know from whom. Maybe from NGOs, but that happens everywhere. We have people in the United States and in other countries that they send resources to their countries, and they have NGOs that help people in other countries that have problems. So if they get anything in the United States, again, it's from NGOs, because you cannot get money for food. For example, if you don't have a social security number, you cannot get unemployment if you don't have a social security number. So, so something is going to happen at the end of the year that will make them do something, create some new law to help things that have to do with immigration. But before that, something bad has to happen. Some tragedy has to happen. The next one has to do with the government, and we have the Hierophant. This is a card that also represents Taurus in astrology, and there is hierarchy in this one, in which the government is separated from the people. It's still trying to help the people, but from the distance. Like, I am here, you are there, I'm going to give you a little bit, okay? But it's working, because it's a card of work, and the government is working to make things advance and to make things productive. But still with this separation in between government and the people, okay? But at least they have goodwill. Okay. The next card, it has to do with social services. The United States doesn't have much in social services, because it's a card of wisdom, but it doesn't tell me anything about action. I got 3 additional cards, and I got the Ace of Pentacles reversed, that is the Ace of Coins reversed, the 10 of Swords upright, and this one, the High Priestess upright. So it tells me again that there is not a lot of money or resources, at least being allocated to things related to social services. And if there is any money allocated, it's not being used properly. And what else? There's going to be they're going to try to analyze what's working and what's not working and do something about it. And there's going to be positive advancement in thinking about these things, but there's no action. With the High Priestess that I got as the last card, and also because we're going to have a government that is divided, we're going to have the Senate on the one hand with the Democrats, and on the other side, we're going to have the House of Representatives with Republicans, so Democrats and Republicans. They're not going to be able to get to a common ground to advance anything, or mostly anything regarding social services. But there's going to be positive work done with it. Things that have to do with government take a long time, and some small little seeds may be planted there during 2023 that will bring fruits in the future, but not in 2023. Now, the last position is for things that have to do with natural disasters. I got 2 cards because we still are going on with the COVID thing, and while the COVID thing is still going on, I will get an additional card in this position for the COVID thing. This is the regular card for regular natural disasters, and we have the Tower reversed. This is probably the worst card in the reading. Most of the cards here are not bad. These two are, I mean, they're minor arcana, so they are not hugely bad things, because minor arcana are free will cards. They represent things that can change, and they are just tendencies, but major arcana represent very strong tendencies or things that you cannot change no matter what you do. With the Tower, which represents destruction, represents the god Mars, which is the god of war and the god of destruction, is telling me that something bad is going to happen, or several bad things are going to happen that are unexpected, because the Tower is unexpected, like this thunder. You cannot expect where thunder is going to hit. You may know that if there's a storm that there may be thunder, but you don't know exactly where it's going to hit, okay? Because it's very focused. So something will happen that will bring destruction, maybe several things. Even an earthquake, because the Tower sometimes is earthquakes, but it can be a huge storm. And because there's several huge storms or hurricanes. Because I got this exact card for Mexico, something may happen that affects both Mexico and the United States. Maybe in the Caribbean, maybe a hurricane, or maybe an earthquake that happens somewhere in between, or maybe in the Atlantic. Maybe we have some type of typhoon or a hurricane-like big storm that comes on a side that normally doesn't happen, but something hard is going to happen that is going to be destructive. Okay, hopefully I'm wrong with this and nothing bad happens. Hopefully I'm wrong with this. I hope so. Then this card is for the COVID thingy, and we have the King of Wands reversed. Because it's reversed, probably no changes. So it's going to continue kind of the same way as it is right now. There may be new strains of the virus appearing, but because most people have already immunity, because either they got COVID or they got the vaccines, or both, or they are not alive anymore. So nothing really bad is going to happen anymore. There may be some ups and downs with this, but really nothing major, fortunately. The worst thing is the lack of administration, or the fact that probably some people are going to be using COVID funds for their own benefit and to do things that don't have to do with COVID, because the King's Act, while the Queens that we have in Tarot, they plan King's Act, but this one is reversed. So he's acting bad with corruption and with bad intentions. Okay, so there's going to be some handling of funds in a way that is not good. So yeah, that's the worst thing related to COVID, not COVID itself. Then the last card that we have that is a summary of the whole reading is the World, which is a good card. And you can think, well, the year should be great if we have the World, which is the achievement of everything that you want. If you have the first card, that is the Fool, that is the beginning of a journey, and the last card of the Major Arcana, that is the World, that is you finish the journey successfully, why is this bad? Well, the World is also a card that symbolizes Saturn. Saturn is the god, is a malefic planet in traditional astrology, and it represents restriction. And you have this thing also, it's protection, but it's through restriction. So the system of the United States is already working too well for it to fail. This is not a bad year for it to fail. Even if we may have some major natural disasters, it's not going to be something that destroys the system. The government is going to be working actively to keep the system going, and it's going to succeed in that with a major arcana here, with a Hierophant. And even if people are going to be struggling, they're not going to be so bad that we're going to have people like not being able to live. That's not going to happen. And the stock exchange, even if this is not going to be a great year for them, they're not going to disappear. Those big companies will still exist, and they will still make profits. Maybe not as much as they want. Maybe instead of gaining 77%, they will increase only 6% or 5%. Because this is not a bad card, okay? So this is a good card indicating that the system is working, but it also indicates restriction, okay? In the cut, we have something kind of similar. The Magician is able to handle everything. It's another overview of the reading. he can handle everything that happens, like the government is doing here. So no matter what happens, whether we have a bad economy and bad housing market, the system will still work and it will not collapse. We have the two of ones. So people are going to not improve, but deprove. What is the opposite of improving? Deproving, exproving. And I don't know, they're not going to improve. As we can see, they're going to struggle, but it's not going to be that bad. Like people are going to, it's not going to be it's not going to be 2008. Okay. I don't see that. I don't see like a crash in the market or anything like that. We're getting closer, at least in housing, but not in the economy itself. Okay. The big economy is not really as bad. It's not good, but it's not bad either. Okay. So I don't see 2008. Okay. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Okay. So this is what we got. If you like my readings, thumbs up. You can subscribe also. If you have comments, sorry, if you don't like, down, thumbs down. If you have comments, you can add them underneath, like in the comment section. If you have suggestions for videos, for topics for videos, you can also leave them down there. And in any case, I wish you the best 2023. I wish you have, I hope you have a lot of money, good health, love, and a good job or a bunch of jobs that give you a lot of money. Okay. And happiness, a lot of happiness. And in any case, thank you very much for watching my channel and my videos, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.